The evaluation process starts with the self-assessment, as you see in this part, self-assessment for the complete procedure and the document-based procedure. In case of the shortened document-based procedure, the self-assessment will not be conducted. Well, the self-assessment is based on an evaluation form. We will check later the evaluation form, and in this part the applicants have to conduct, as its name says, a self-evaluation about the criteria of the general standard. Then the evaluation form is includes or is the same general standard, but we have adjusted with some other columns like a form. Then this is the self-assessment. When they finish the self-assessment, they have to send to the evaluation entity in order they review this form, and well, we will check it as I told you. We will check it later. The evaluation, the certification entity, when they finish the document-based evaluation, in case of the complete procedure on site, they would have to do the evaluation plan for the field evaluation. And in case of the document-based evaluation, they have to do the evaluation report, or in case there are non-compliance, they will have to do the non-compliance report. But as you see, the complete procedure on site includes a document-based evaluation and a field evaluation, and the document-based procedure is just a document-based evaluation based on the self-assessment and the support documents. Finally, if the examination they approve, if the resolution is positive, they would have to issue, well, to send the user's contract, and the organizations will have to pay the membership payment. And finally, when they sign the user's contract and pay the membership, the certification entity would have to grant the certification. This is the diagram process for for SPOs, small producers organizations, and the diagram process. Well, you can see that here at the end they have to pay the membership. In case of the diagram process for companies, is the same diagram, it's almost the same, but the difference is at the end, because companies do not have to pay a membership. Then you will see in the next slide that there is not a membership for companies. Well, I am sorry, because at the end, well, user's contract, when the resolution is positive, they have to sign the user's contract, but they don't have to pay a membership. The cost in case of companies is the registration payment that is paid to the certification entity. Well, I recommend you to, well, as evaluators, to review the certification procedures to see all the details for each of these steps. Requirements for evaluation in the document-based procedure for SPOs. certification entity requests the applicant to send the following information. Sorry, this is for the shortened document-based procedure. The requirements are just three points. Number one, the certificate it already has related to fair trade and currently in effect. Nowadays, we just have 3 recognized certifications: FLO, FTF, and ESR EcoCert. In number 2, the sworn declaration of the interested parties, compliance with the organizational criteria in the general standard. The sworn declaration is a form that they have to review and finally to sign. And number 3, the list of members with the following characteristics: name of producers, name of locality, size of production unit, annual production, and must be validated internally and externally. You can see that in the shortened there is not this not includes the evaluation form. This is the difference with the, well, this procedure is faster and cheaper. In the document-based procedure, the requirements are, in first place, the evaluation form for the applicant to carry out its self-assessment, the list of members, number 3, certificates that the applicant has been awarded and that are currently in effect, all the certificates that they have. It's not necessary that they present these certificates. It says the certificates the applicant has been awarded. It depends on the organization. And number 4, documents that support and confirm the data and responses indicated in the evaluation form. These are the documents that they have to send with the evaluation form. Then this is the requirements for the document-based procedure. And the steps in the complete on-site procedure. The procedure is divided into general steps. The document-based evaluation is the evaluation form and the requirements on the document-based procedure that we review in the previous slide. And in number 2, an on-site evaluation. The evaluator follows the guidelines for defining the work plan and the Annex 1. These guidelines, it's another document in which it is specified the steps to prepare the work plan, and the Annex 1 is an Excel file to calculate the number of days. The steps in the on-site evaluation: meeting for initiating on-site evaluation, compilation and evaluation for information, development of evaluation findings, preparation of evaluation conclusion, and closing meeting. This is the steps when the evaluator is in the facilities, the office of the small producer organization or company. And finally, when the evaluation is finishes in the field evaluation, these are the steps to complete the evaluation in both cases, in the document and in the complete procedure. Follow up on non-compliance, final evaluation report, certification decision, positive notification for resolution and signing the user's contract, request for payment of SPP Global membership fee, ranking certification, immediately after the positive resolution, and annual evaluation. These annual evaluations are conducted every 12 months with a grace period of 1 more before or after. In number 6, between parentheses, you can see immediately after the positive resolution. This step has changed recently because, well, we have to notify these new procedures, but we have not done yet. We are going to send a notification in the following days about the changes in some of the documents of the SPP system, because well, nowadays the certification entity cannot grant the certificate until SPP Global approved to grant the certification, or to deliver the certification. Because in the case of small producers organizations, remember that they have to pay a membership at the end of the evaluation process when the notification of the resolution is positive. But we have the problem that not all of them paid in a timely manner. Sometimes they pay 1, 2, 3 months, 6 months, and for that reason we don't approve the certification entity delivered the certificate. But this rule have changed, as I told you, recently, and now well, in the following days the certification entity could deliver the certificate or registration, well, the certificate in the case of small producers organizations, when they have the resolution and the resolution was positive. They don't have to wait until they pay the membership. And in this procedure, it is specified the maximum timelines for evaluation. The beginning of the certification is the diagram process with timelines for the various steps in the process that may be summarized as follows. The general steps considered in the process are self-evaluation. The small producer organization has 30 days to complete this form and send to the certification entity. In number 2, complementary information, 30 calendar days, and non-conformity addressed, if in case there are non-conformities. In total, they are 90 days. The time granted to the certification entity for conducting the evaluation for each step is a total of 15 calendar days, independent of the time that the evaluatee has for each step in the process. Then this is important for certification entities and for evaluators, because when the small producer organization or a company sent the evaluation with their self-evaluation, maximum in 30 calendar days, the evaluator has only 15 days to review the self-evaluation and ask for complementary information in case is necessary, or well, they have the opportunity to send more information to complete the self-evaluation. And finally, when the evaluator receives the complementary evaluation, they have another 15 days maximum. These are maximum timelines to review the complementary information, and finally they would have to issue an evaluation report or a non-compliance report in case there are non-conformities. This is all of about this presentation. As I told you, I recommend you to review the certification procedures to see the details for each step. Does anybody have doubts or comments? Or can we continue with the next presentation? The next presentation is about complementary guidelines and procedures to certification and registration procedures. A second, please. As the name says, they are complementary guidelines and procedures to the certification and registration procedures. They are 4 documents, but in these charts I am summarizing the information. They are 4 documents. The first one is the General Application Guidelines to the SPP system. In this document, the involved stakeholders are final buyers, intermediaries, maquila companies, collective trading companies, owned by small producers organizations, a small producer organization, and certification entities. The objectives of this document are to define which companies must become registered with the small producer symbol, specify the conditions under which companies may choose to enter into a control process through third parties. Remember this because the second objective, I'm going to explain you something about this, the second objective. Number 3, explain the process through which unregistered companies may enter into a control process. Specify the existing registration categories and their scope. Indicate which companies must pay SPP Global for the use of the SPP. Clarify which companies must pay small producer symbol sustainable prices to small producers organizations. Then in this document are presented different kind of companies, because we have explained you that the companies considering the SPP system are the final buyers, the collective trading companies, intermediaries, and maquila companies, because all of them could be involved in the chain of the production and trading process. For that reason, all of them must be registered in the case of companies. But sometimes, for example, a processing plant that is necessary for any product, the small producer organization or a final buyer maybe have subcontracts with these companies. Then they are only offering a service, a processing plant or an importer. They are not really interested in SPP system or in SPP certification. In this case, it is allowed to not to get or not to be to apply a registration. It's not mandatory for an intermediary or for a maquila company to be registered in the SPP system, but they could have to be controlled. Controlled is the second one. Objective: specify the conditions under which companies may choose to enter into a control process through third parties. Then in this case, the intermediary or the processing plant would have to be evaluated through the evaluation process of the small producer organization or the final buyer. But then you have to check this document to see the details and other guidelines for the different kind of companies, because it could be that a small company, small buyer have a cafeteria, for example. Is it necessary this cafeteria have an SPP registration if they want to sell coffee with the SPP logo, you would have to check these guidelines. And in the second place, the document is guidelines for share of registration with small buyers. In this case, the involved stakeholders are final buyers. A final buyer is a company that buys products certified with the small producer symbol to place them on the final consumer market under its own name or trademark. They also function as intermediary to sell products like raw material to other small buyers. Then, in this case, the objectives are define the conditions under which a registration for a final buyer with a small producer symbol may be shared among a number of small buyers. Define what is understood as small buyers and define the mechanisms for the recognition and evaluation of the shared use of registration. This third objective, define the mechanisms for the recognition and evaluation, is for the certification entity. Well, they have to pay attention in this part mainly. Another complementary procedures is the procedures for issuance, modification, and extension of certificates and registration of conformity. The involved stakeholders are all of that we consider in the SPP system, since an SPO organization, final buyers, an intermediary and maquila company, collective trading companies, and finally certification entities. The objectives are provide the general guidelines for issuance of certificates and registration of conformity, modification of certificates, registrations of conformity, and extend the scope or the time period effective of certificate or registration of conformity. Finally, we have the document of guidelines for collective certification. This document, well, in my experience, in the time I have here at SPP Global, we have not, or nobody has applied these guidelines. These procedures apply to first-level organizations that are members of a higher-level small producers organization that applies for certification based on the general standard for the SPP through the small producer organization of a higher level. In this case, it is important to know what are the definitions of first, second, third, even though fourth level small producer organization. A first level organization is a small producer organization whose members are producers and individuals. The second level small producer organization is a small producer organization whose members are first level SPOs and occasionally members of a first level SPOs and or individuals. And third level small producers organizations is an organization whose members are second level and occasionally members of first level SPOs. Then you can see that the more single is the first level because their members are individuals, but in the second their members are first level SPOs. In the third level their members are, well, second level, and it could be first level. It means that the more higher level organization is, well, the more complex structure and number of members, maybe. The objective is specify the guidelines for implementation and fee collection for simultaneous certification of a number of small producers organizations that make up a high-level organization. Well, Nowadays, we have received some days ago, or is in the process of send their SPP application, an organization from Ethiopia, and it is a very huge, well, it's a huge organization, because I think that this is a second or third level organization with 300 more or less first level organizations, SPOs, 300. And number of members in total, they are 3 million, or I don't know, if I'm not sure if they are million or thousands of members. I think they are 300,000. Then imagine the size of this organization. But they are interested because they have some final buyers. They are customers of this organization, and they have requested the SPP certification to make the transactions. Then will I listen a sound? I'm going to close.
Silenciado. Sonido reactivado.
No puedo cerrar. Okay. Well, I was telling about you an example. We have a new application that is from an organization from Ethiopia, and they are the organization is a second or third level. I don't know. I'm not sure, but they are 300 first level small producers organization and 300,000 members. Not all of the first level organizations, the 300 first level organizations, would be involved in the SPP transactions. For that reasons, they are not interested in certify the second level organization in total. That's why they are going to use this option, the guidelines for collective certification, in which they can decide which of the 300 first level organizations would be involved in the SPP transactions. I think they are 15 organizations of those 300 will be involved in SPP transactions. Then just 15 organizations are going to be included in the evaluation process. Just the 15. And they are going to the information that they will present in the evaluation form will be about these 15 first level organizations. Well, in order to see more details about these guidelines, I recommend you to check this document. And if you want, I can send you with all of the presentations of this session. This is all about the complementary guidelines. Are there doubts or comments? Angel, did you see if anybody has a question? I cannot listen. I cannot hear you. A second, please. I cannot hear you, Angel. I don't know. Because I see that your microphone is open. I cannot hear you. Well, Alfred? Alfred. It's about for collective certification because I must understand, well, we are about 10,000 members and our plan is to make a union of cooperatives. Okay. Yes, but are you, Alfred, are you a second level organization? So PACD? Or a first level organization? Because you see that according to the definitions, a first level, their members are individuals. In this case of second level organizations, their members are first level organizations. But these guidelines for collective certification is conducted just in the case of a second level organizations. So apply to first level organization when they belong to a second level or to a higher level small producer organizations. But if you want, we can review this this topic after. Alfred and Zimmerman, I am supposed to be going to a very important meeting for an hour, which I am told is obligatory. Sorry, but I did not expect his. Yes, Zimmerman, I think that at 10. And Beji? Beji, is Beji, will Beji attend? Until what time? Well, please, could you please write in the chat, Beji? Until what time are you available for the training, please? Well, I think that we can continue with
Hello? Hello? Are you? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you. What was
The question.
until when?
Beji?
Yeah, you were speaking with me or with someone
Yes, a question. What time?
Yeah.
What time are you going to leave?
Let's say in 1 hour.
1 hour? Okay.
In 1 hour. Yeah.
Yes. Thank
because
you.
we have a Ramadan time, that's why.
Okay.
You.
Yes, thank you all,
Okay.
Beji. Then
Thank
we
you.
can continue. Can we close the microphones, please? And Alfred, Angel, I don't know what happened with the Alfred's microphone because I cannot close. Angel, I think that you have closed your microphone. Now? No, I cannot hear you, Angel. I don't know what happened. No, I hear you because we are in the same office, but not by my computer. Well, and let's continue with the next presentation. This is about the evaluation form. Then I'm going to show you. This is the evaluation form. As you remember, in the document-based procedure and in the complete procedure on site, the applicants have to complete this form as a self-assessment. The first part of the form is the general standard. It's the same. We have copied the general standard in this form with the different kind of criteria. The informative, continuous, critical, minimum, and continuous improvement criteria. But the informative criteria are not evaluated. Then you have to select the ones that you are going to review. In the document-based procedure, just the critical criteria are evaluated. That's why I have filtered this criteria, critical criteria. This is an Excel file, as you see, and it has 4 sheets. The first one is they are instructions of how to complete this form or how to use this form. The second one is a form in which they have to complete their data, name of organization, country, telephone. Finally, they have to write the name and signature of the person responsible for the truthfulness of the information. This is very important. When they send you the evaluation form, you have to check this part that they have to complete with their data and the name and signature of the person responsible for the truthfulness of the information. And the evaluation form in the third sheet, finally, required documents. As you see, the version is 16, version 16 of March 27. This is recently. We have not notified yet this evaluation form. As I told you, we have made some changes to some documents and we are going to notify it in the following days. I think that in 1 week, maximum 15th of June, we are going to send you a notification with all of the changes in the system, in the SPP system. Well, then the most important is the evaluation form. When the document-based procedure, critical criteria. When the complete procedure, critical, minimum, and continuous. Something important is that evaluator, well, I don't know if it would be the evaluator or the other person in the certification entity would send this form to the applicants. But when you send the form, you have to explain, maybe in the email, how to complete in a summary manner. And you have to filter, preferable, you have to filter the criteria that they would have to complete. And it is important that they know this criteria of the general standard. It says criterion 1.13. All entities subject to evaluation by this standard must in all cases comply 100% with the critical, minimum, and continuous improvement criteria that are applicable according to indications in the columns, independently of the procedures applied by the certification entities. It means that it doesn't matter if in a specific year it have to be conducted a complete procedure, a document-based procedure in which only critical criteria are evaluated. Even though you will review just critical criteria, they have to be conscious that they have to know all the criteria and all entities subject must in all cases comply with 100% of the criteria. You have to inform this to the applicants or to your customers. Then you have to send the evaluation, and they will have to complete this form. In the case it is a small producer organization, they have to choose the criteria marked with an X in this column. As you see, in this case, in letter D are the criteria for small producers organizations. Then in this case I'm going to join these other columns. Then they have to write if they comply or not with this criteria, but it's not mandatory. For example, complies. The most important is that, or maybe it does not apply. If it's the case, it does not apply. But the most important is that they have been filled out, column L and column M. Then in this criteria, 4.1.1, it says 100% of the producers in the small producer organization meet each of the following criteria. Letter A, for each of the products to be included in the certification of the small producer organization, the size of the production unit does not exceed the following dimensions. Letter I, the production units of at least 85% of producers do not exceed the following unit size. Yesterday we reviewed the general standard, and this is one of the most important criterion. Remember that 85% do not exceed 15 hectares for agriculture. Then the response, the answer in this case, was the largest piece of land a farmer within the cooperative consists of 5 hectares. The smallest area of land is 0.5. No crops are cultivated indoors. We do not use greenhouses. No farmer, well, the largest piece of land of a farmer is 5 hectares. We do not use greenhouses. Well, then they are writing that you can see that all of the members are less than 15 hectares. Then in column M, they have to write what is the document or the information they used to verify the explanation they wrote in the previous column, and they wrote farmers list. In the farmers list, the evaluator could check all the name of the members, the locality, and the size of the unit production. Then it is okay if they wrote farmers list. The evaluator would have to check this list. The evaluation of applicant in this case, in these columns N, O, P, and Q, the evaluator would have to do their own evaluation, and they have to write if this information is sufficient or not. For example, I can write, for me it's sufficient because they explain that the largest piece of land of a farmer is 5 hectares. Then you have to write sufficient. In this next column, complementary information when applicable. just in the case you use another other information. In this case, I'm not using other information. I'm not using. Then in this next column, missing information when applicable. You would have to write the information you need, the information you are requesting to the applicant to complete the evaluation. In this case, it's not necessary because I wrote sufficient. And finally, the evaluation of compliance. But it would be better, or you can write comply. Then this is the way that an evaluator have to review each one of these criteria. I'm sorry. But I have an example with a with a continuous improvement criteria. Yes. In yellow, I have marked an example. But it is important that you remember the definitions of the different types of criteria. This document is instructions for SPP evaluators and examiners. It's a new document. In the past, we don't have instructions for evaluators. We are going to send and to notify with all of the other changes in the SPP system. But in this part of the document, it says the information the evaluator should be aware of the following information. Definitions of the three types of criteria. Critical criteria, the criteria for these standards that are qualified as critical are mandatory and will be evaluated in all cases, including as part of the SOC evaluations. Failure to comply with these criteria will directly impact certification and registration results. It means that if they do not, the applicant does not show how do they comply with the explanation they wrote in the evaluation form and with the documental support, then the evaluator has to consider non-compliance. The minimum criteria are also mandatory. Failure to comply with these criteria will directly impact in the certification and registration results. And the continuous improvement criteria are, these are criteria that will be evaluated in the framework of possibilities of compliance in a particular context. Unjustified failure to comply will impact certification and registration results. That's why it is very important, these criteria, because the critical and minimum are mandatory. But the minimum, the continuous improvement depends on the context, depends on the particular context. Then depends on the point of view of the evaluator. Depends on if the evaluator knows the region, the country, and in order they can conduct a good evaluation. Then in the example, please, Beji, could you please read this example? Criterion 4.2.8. Could you please open your microphone, Beji, please? Read, please, this criterion.
Yeah, I can't. I'm just looking for. Yeah.
Yes. Can you see the screen and the letter? The letters? Beji, can you hear me? Oh. Or Zimmerman? No, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, Zimmerman is not here. Oh, yes. Zimmerman? Can you read this criterion, please? I'm not sure. Can you hear me, Zimmerman? Well, or Beji? Angel, can you hear them?
Hello? Can you
Yes?
hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Beji?
Hello? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello? Yeah. Hello?
Well,
Hello?
Yes, I can hear.
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes,
yes?
Beijing.
Hello?
Yes, Beji?
Hello? Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Because I hear you very well since you ask your question, but you couldn't hear me. Okay, so are you speaking about 428? Question 428?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, so activities that promote equitable participation by men and women in activity process, bodies, and decision-making process are carried out. It's continuous improvement, yeah?
Yes. Then the answer,
Yeah,
the letter in column L, please read it, the
yeah.
answer.
This is the form of compliance. The participation of members is promoted by the new, still to implement traceability software. This software makes sure that all the products can be traced back to individual farmers, and the premium can be divided on the amount of coffee the farmers produce instead of giving each farmer the same amount of premium money. Yeah, it means so here through the traceability we will go back to the farmer who produce or farmers who produce the coffee, and then the premium price or the premium money will be divided only by this by the number of or to these farmers, I mean, who participate for production.
Yes. And
Not all the group.
And do you consider that the answer respond to the question or to the criterion?
No.
No. Or just a
Activity that
part?
promote because activity that promote equitable participation by men and women in
Beji?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yes.
Just 10 seconds.
Yes.
Yes, I think it answered to the criteria.
But I think that is just a
part.
part, because the criteria is more general. The criteria considers some other aspects. They say that promote equitable participation by men and women in activities, process, body and decision-making process and are carried out. Bodies and decision-making process is, for example, that in General Assembly,
Okay.
men
Yeah.
and women can participate, and
And
all
can
of them are, all of they are
have the same
listened.
voice.
Yes. But, well, in this case, in, well, form of verification, they wrote not apply, but in column N is my evaluation. This part have to be completed by the evaluator. Then I wrote insufficient. Yes, because I consider
Yeah.
that is not sufficient. Then I wrote in the complementary information, it was informed that women's opinion is not taken into consideration in the assemblies. For that reason, women created another cooperative independently owned just by women. In my opinion, as the evaluator assigned to this project, the cultural aspect must be considered to verify the compliance of this specific criterion. Yes? I wrote in this column complementary information because I got this information when we talk with the person responsibility of the evaluation form, and they told me that there is another organization different that is owned just by women, because in their experience in the life of this cooperative, women do not have voice. They are not listened by men. Only the opinions the men of men are considered.
Yeah.
But then the evaluator have to consider all this, the culture, for example, to say if the response is sufficient or not, or did they if there are possibilities to comply well in the 100% of this criterion. Finally, in the next column, the answer is not enough. Cooperatives should work with more activities that promote equitable participation by men and women in all activities. Blah, 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 blah. This is a continuous improvement criteria. It would be considered a compliance. However, the cooperative must work to improve the equitable participation. For that reason, I wrote finally complies. Yes?
Yeah.
But it is important that you write as evaluator all this information, because next year or next 2 years, because critical continuous improvement is just evaluated in the complete procedure on site every 3 years. That's why I said maybe in 1 or 2 years or 3, you would check again this continuous improvement. And in 2 or 3 years, it's necessary that they have improved in this aspect. Yes? But it depends on the context, and it is very important that the evaluator knows the culture and customs of the specific country. Yeah? Well, thank you, Beyi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alejandra. Thank you very much, Alejandra,
Yes,
for your
you're welcome.
explanation.
Yes, you're welcome. Then,
okay, Alfred is asking for participation.
Yes, thank you. Alfred?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
It was about that criteria 4.2.8.
Yes.
Here, here in DRC, for Sopakdi cooperative, we are implementing the activity women
You are
because is the women who works hard in the field.
yes.
So we must, in our Sopakdi, there is in our gross list, there is a member men and a member women, and there is their committee. They have a committee in the sectors and the cells, and they have their meeting.
Yes. But
And they plan about coffee fields, about some projects, and they give us their reports. So I would like to inform other members of SPO to encourage that program, so that our women's make sure that they are now considered.
yes. But
Okay.
this is an action that you will encourage for the future.
Yes.
No?
Now, since today, please.
Sorry, a second, please. It's because my mic went. Again, the last part.
Okay.
Alfred? Alfred?
Yes.
I'm sorry because I had a problem with my microphone. What
even me.
Yes, don't worry. What are the specific activities you do to comply with this example, with this criterion?
I said that as I see here, there is some on M. You say not applicable. On the column M.
M. Oh, yeah.
On the column M, you said not applicable.
Well, this is not applicable. This information was written by the applicant, by the cooperative, not by me.
At Sopakdi is applicable.
Yes.
Because in our gross list there is women and men.
You have different lists?
Yes, there is in our gross list there is a column which shows the sex.
Okay, yes.
Yes. Now other cooperatives must do the same. They have a list of women and men which shows that they are working together.
Yes. But but women and men must have the same rights. Yes?
Yes.
For example. And for example, women participate in general assemblies? Women?
Yes. Yes.
And their voices are considered, are listened?
There is a president of women's.
Okay. Then
they done their election.
Okay. then I think
Yes.
I consider that SOPACD will complies with this
Ye-
example. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Alfred. Thank you for your example and participation.
Thank you too.
Then you have to check all of the each of one criteria, each of one of the criterion specified in this form, the critical,
Yes.
minimum, and continuous improvement criterion, to see if your organization complies with all of them, or if you have to implement some activities to comply with each one. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
The small producer organization and the evaluator have to know all of this, all of the criteria. Well, then according to the agenda, the next step, I don't know if there are more questions or comments. If there are, please, Angel, tell me. Or if not, we can continue with the costs, regulation on costs. Regulation on costs. This is another document of the SPP system, Regulation on Costs. And there are, in this document, there specified the cost for small producers organizations. Is the first part of the document, the first chapters. Oh, I'm sorry. This is in Spanish. I'm sorry, I have a mistake here. They pay for two concepts. In number one is the cost of the certification. It is paid to the certification entity. Number two is an annual membership, and this annual membership is paid to SPP Global. And when every year when you renew your certificate. Now the next slides presents the costs for certifications. According the regulation on costs, we don't have specific fees. We have tables in which they are presented, fees expressed in work days, total work days, depending on the size of the organization, depending on the number of members. An organization which has until 100 producers, the certification entity must consider 2.5 days. Then at the end, for more than 1,000 producers, the certification entity must consider 3.5 days, almost 4 days. In these days must be included all the activities for the certification. Then the certification entity has to review the activities included that we consider in the regulation on costs, what are the activities for the document-based procedure, and the activities that they consider for all the general process that they conduct as a certification entity. And finally, certification entities have to establish a fee per day. Fee per day. For example, if the fee per day for the SPP certification could be $300, or, well, since 200, 300, 400, maybe $500, depending on the certification entity, depending on the country. But more or less the average is $400 or $500. Then if the fee per day is $500 and the total work days until 100 producers are 2 days and a half, the total cost would be $1,250. $1,250 is the offer for the certification in the case of a small producer organization. It is very important. For that reason, the certification entity has decided what would be the fee per day, because with the regulation on cost, we just have to multiply the fee per day per the number of days considered in these tables. And for the shortened document-based procedure, you can see that the total days are more or less the middle. In the case of more than 1,000 producers, the certification entity must consider just 1 day. 1 day is would be $500. $500 would be the total economical offer for the certification in the shortened document-based procedure. Remember that the shortened document-based procedure is conducted only the first time, the first year, when they have Fair Trade, FTF, and ESR certificates. In the case of complete procedures, the following activities have been established for the complete on-site procedure. Since preparation for visit, inspection of main offices, inspection of complementary sites, sample of small producers organizations, inspection of production units, preparation of inspection report, examinations. In number 4 and 5, sample of small producers organization and inspection of production units, it is very important that you use the Annex 1, as it says at the end of this slide, to verify the days required for each type of work. The information in Annex 1 table should be applied in calculation of work days involved in the complete procedure. From the document, guidelines for defining the work plan for evaluating compliance. Then there is a specific document in which there are established the guidelines to define the work plan, and in the Annex 1, that is an Excel file, they have to calculate the total days, and they have to establish the sample of small producers organization to visit in the complete procedure on site. Finally, for small producers organizations, they have to pay an annual membership depending on the number of producers that produce products included in the certification of a particular small producer organization. The following annual membership is to be paid. Up to 100 producer, 150, more than 1,000, 750. These are the fee memberships for small producer organizations that are paid to SPP Global. In case of companies, you know that companies are final buyers, collective trading companies owned by small producers organizations, intermediaries, and maquila companies. they have to pay for two concepts. The first one is registration fee. This fee covers all expenses incurred by the certification entity when conducting the registration process. Fee, and the second one is the fee for using the small producer symbol. Using the symbol refers to both using the small producer symbol logo in any of its presentation, as well as using certification under the small producer symbol as a reference. The user's fee is paid in relation to, well, sorry, at the end we are going to check the user's fee, but in this chart, in this table, we have also work days for the normal document-based procedure until, well, it depends on the size of the company, or depends on the range per values of SPP purchases in the previous cycle. Until $3 million, it must be considered 1.6 work days. And if the company is a big or a huge company, which has value of SPP purchases in the previous cycle more than $35 million, work days are 2.4. This is the table work days for the normal document-based procedure. And for the shortened document-based procedure, you can see that work days are less than the normal document-based procedure. It's the same. The certification entity has to have the fee per day. Fee per day, in order you can multiply with the work days for the total, the economical offer. And in the case of the complete procedure on site, the following factors are established for the complete procedure on site. It's the same as in the small producers organizations, and you would have to use Annex 1, that is a calculation sheet to determine the total days. The cost of user's fee for final buyers, that is the other concept. For final buyers, the user's fee for the SPP is a fixed fee by volume of 1% of the value of the products purchased for sale under the small producer symbol certification, except in those cases when a specific fee has been established. Until today, we just have specific fee for green coffee, that is 3 US cents per pound. Well, these are the regulation on costs. And for certification entities, the most important would be the part in which they are presented the tables of work days to determine the offer of certification or registration. And in case of a small producer organization, for example, SOPACDI, it is important to know how the certification entity decided or determine the offer. Then you have to review the regulation on cost and the fee for the membership, that is annual, the annual membership. And it is important also for certification entities to inform at the beginning when a stakeholder asks to certification entity about the SPP registration. As I told you in the certification procedure and in the registration procedure, the first step is to inform or becoming informed about the general standard, the declaration on principles and values, list of requirements, and regulation on costs. Because some final buyers do not know about that they have to pay a user fee. And then it is important that it is clearly at the beginning that they want to apply for the registration. Well, that's all about this presentation. Does anybody has a doubt or comment in this presentation? Or we can continue with the next presentation, that is the regulation on graphics.
Dear Alejandra,
Yes?
please.
Yes?
Yeah, please, I have a small question. I'm not sure if it's about this presentation, but it's like, I have like a doubt about it.
Yes.
We have a buyers and we have small farmers. The final products in the market, I mean, it will be under which name? Should it include the buyer and also the
consumer.
producer group, or only the buyer, or how it works?
You said about the final product?
Yeah, final product, yeah.
Yes, the definition about final buyer is the company that sells products on their SPP certification and with their own brand in the final consumer market. Then when a company use a brand of the company, of the final buyer, but not then a brand of the name or a name of the small producer organization. They can mention that the raw material is from, for example, Sopagdi, or from, I don't know, another organization, Fondo Paez in Colombia, from UCIRI in Mexico City. They mention in the seal, but the brand is of the final buyer. Yes, but it could be cases that they trade, they sell products, final product from an organization. Is that, I think that is your question. And the product, the product is finished by the organization as a final product with the brand of the organization. Yes?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, if the product is imported, yes?
Imported, yeah.
They have to, well, the company that is trading the product in other country, they have to be registered. But I think that they don't have to use for the user's fee. I'm not sure, but I'm going to check it right now. This regulation is included in the general application guidelines, as I told you, because there are different kinds of companies, or maybe with different possibilities, and in this document is included if they have to be registered on their SPP certification program, or if they have to pay the user's fee. The registration category is, a second please, companies. It says companies that must register with the small producer symbol, companies that purchase product. Yes, it says companies that purchase a product from a certified small producer organization to then transform or process the product and sell it as a finished product using the SPP in the sale. Well, in this case, it says that they transform the product. It's not the example that you asked me. Companies that transform company. Companies that sell a SPP certified product under their own name or trademarks. In this point, companies do not need to be registered if they purchase a finished product that has a SPP label without having transformed or processed the product in any way exclusively for its sale to a final consumer. Yes? Unless they are involved in the importing or exporting of the product, or if they sell the product under their own name or trademark. Then it means that depending if the product is involved in the importing or exporting, this company have to be registered. But it's different if the product comes from an organization which the brand of the organization, but it's trading in the national market, is not involved in importing or exporting. This company must not be registered, only for the national market. For example, if I have a company, a small company, and I buy final product from a cooperative here in Mexico, Uciri, that is in Mexico. It's a SPP certified organization, and they sell a final product with the brand of Uciri, of the organization, their own brand. Then I, as a company, buy product from them and sell in my cafeteria. I don't have the obligation to apply for the registration, and I don't have to pay the user's fee. For the use. Companies that pay for use. I think that your question was specifically for the user's fee.
Yeah, exactly.
Company payment. Companies that purchase finished product labeled with SPP are not involved in an import or export will not be required to pay for use the symbol. Isn't the same example? If I am a company that buy final product from an SPO, if they have final product with their own brand, I don't have to pay the user's fee because I am trading in Mexico. But if I am a company in the USA or Canada, for example, and I buy the product from a Mexican cooperative that sell final product with their own brand, I would have to be registered and I would have to pay the user's fee because it is involved an import or export process. Depends on this. If it is for the national market, they don't have to pay a user's fee.
Okay.
Yes. Then remember this document, because as you see, I didn't remember all the rules. I have to look for it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Well, is there another question, Angel?
For me, it's okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Alfred, he asked about the final vouchers. If they know the value chain of the coffee production?
Do they know the value chain? Well, Alfred, your question is about that if final buyers
is about the final buyers and the final consumer.
yes, but do you say that if they know the value chain of coffee production?
Yes, because when we are making the coffee of high quality,
Okay.
there is many things you must do. Then they must also pay the SPP certification so that they know that there is a good practice that the small producer do in their fields.
Yes, that is your question. I think that your question is about the SPP final buyers.
Yes.
Yes, when they are registered in the SPP system, they are evaluated similar or equal, the same as a small producer organization. They have to comply with all the requirements for final buyers because they have they are requested some commitments with the small producers organization. One of them is to pay the SPP minimum prices or more or higher, but at least the minimum SPP price. And they must have a commitment to increase their SPP purchases. Every year they have to increase 5% of the purchases until up to 25. This is at least they have to get this 25 of each product they sell as SPP. Then the final buyers involved in the SPP certification system, they know the value chain of coffee production, but just the final buyers that are in our system. I don't know. I almost sure that there are many companies in the world that, and you know, and I think that all of we know, but they don't have a serious commitment with producers. But we pretend that the SPP final buyers, they know this value chain.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's continue now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you too.
And well, the next presentation is the regulation on graphics. And for this presentation, my colleague Angel will present you this topic. Angel, can you change
yes.
as presenter?
Yes. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Angel?
Yes.
Can you change the presenter? Organizer? Or do I have to change you?
You have to change.
Okay. Now I have changed to you in order you show your screen. Yes.
Now you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
No, not yet.
Now?
Okay. Biocop.
What?
No.
No. Regulation on graphics. Do you see this slide? Small producer symbol, regulation on graphics. 2017.
Let me take a picture.
Yes? Rusty, can you see this presentation? And Beji, maybe
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Hello everybody, and thank you for attending this training. This part is for the regulation on graphics. Okay. The Smart Producer symbol regulation on graphics. It's the last version was approved by the Board of Directors in May 5, 2017, but we are now in the translation for English and for French. So the last version it's only available in Spanish, but we have the next weeks we can upload the English and French version. So in the website spp.com, you can consult the last version. The change, it's only an add for the indicator for fair trade. We will see later. So we can begin by now for this. And this regulation on graphics applies to all users of the Smart Producer symbol. It's for both certified Smart Producers organization and registered buyers that have signed the user's contract. We have a number of authorized versions of the graphic for different applications, and the graphic is in different language, and we have the black and white versions and multicolor versions. The version that include the link to the Smart Producer symbol website should be used. So the option A, it's the multicolor version. You can see here the different colors, the different language. In the case of the French version for France, it is in the left corner down. In France, there are a problem with copyright, so the number of the SPP in France is Producteur Paysan, but the French version international is Petit Producteurs. For other countries, different to France. For example, Canada or countries in Africa. Every versions have the direction www.spp.com and the copyright symbol. Okay. The single color version is the option B. A single color refers to the when the symbol appears in only one color that contrasts with the background color. In this case is black and white, but we also have other colors, always respecting that the text remains legible and the graphic visible. For the version in multicolor, this, we have a official Pantone. So this is the specific colors for the Pantone, and a specific typography. In the case of the text, the smart producers or pequeños productores or other language, the font is Copper STD Black, and for the website direction it's ITC Benguet Gothic in bold. Is permitted in the following items, respecting always the variations previous specified. For bottling, packaging, wrapping, in the product itself, in case of fruit, for example, advertising material, including digital material, institutional promotion material, letterhead, and in facilities and promotional materials of restaurants or coffees, if 100% of one of several of their key products come from Smart Producer organization and certified by Smart Producer symbols. Now, some organizations or final buyers use a text to explain what is the SPP in their labels or packings. So the text have to comply these regulations. The text might not make negative reference to other sales. If a user sends the text to SPP Global for approval, we promise to give a positive or negative response within the maximum period of 10 work days. Usually it's more or less around 2-3 days or less even. In some cases it's not the same day the approbation, but this is just for establish a period. In the case of products with various ingredients, you should specify the ingredients that are SPP certified. This is an example for an label of Etiquable, chips of potato, and this is the front of the label. They are also the Producteurs Paysans logo. They explain the origin of the product, the ingredients, and in this part they explain what the Smart Producer symbol is. This is a detail for this part, and you can see this is how they explain what is the SPP, and they specificate that 75% of this product is SPP certified. We have an optional complementary descriptors. This can be about country or region of origin. For example, an indigenous group product or equivalent. In this case, for example, the shirt logo, the origin is Ecuador. It's a product from an indigenous group, and the indigenous group names is Nation Shuar. And you can also include other qualifications. You can see these qualifications, these optional descriptors in the website. In the part of normativity, you can see in the main menu SPP system, then normativity, and then complementary criteria. And if you plan to use these complementary descriptors, you can see which criteria going to be evaluated by the certification. So if you want or you need to use these descriptors, you have to tell to the certification entity so they can evaluate these criteria. And you can see which criteria are going to be evaluated in the normativity. This is the graphic of these optional complementary descriptors. This bar, it's 6 part of the full height of the logo. The font is Benguet Gothic, and it should be located in the middle of the bar. The maximum qualifications or descriptors you can put in the logo is 4, and as you see, the colors respect the same colors of the general logo. In the version of unicolor version or single color, must to have a white bar to differentiate each descriptor. Now this is the change respect the last version. Some organizations and also final buyers ask to include the conceptual descriptor for fair trade. So this is really the addition to the regulation on graphics. This is the new part of this document. The rest of the document it's the same. This is the only addition. So it's include the fair trade descriptor in for any language. So you can see in German, English, Spanish, and French. For this case, is not permitted the use of the universal logo. So for put the fair trade legend should to be with the logo in the language of the destined market, not the universal. And the same for the single color version. This is the designs not permit. Deformation, fuzzy, erased, the scratcher, structural modification, text modifications, graph not visible due to lack of contrast, or unauthorized use of colors. This is the no permitted versions. You can see it's difficult to read, or it's deformated. And in this case, the color of the logo and the background is not visible, the letters. or in this case, there are colors that nor are the official colors. And to avoid any improper interpretation of this regulation, you have to send us your label, packing, or your publication for approval, and we promise to respond and your request for approval in a maximum period of 10 work days. This is an example. For example, the Café Chavalo in Germany, they buy coffee from Nicaragua, but the main market is Germany, so they asked us for this logo for his label, and we make the logo. It's a product origin of Nicaragua for a Germany market. If you plan to use any of these logo, or you need a specific logo with a descriptor, and for any market, you can ask for us, and we can make. So it's important that you ask the logo with anticipation, so we can work in that. If you have not the fonts, this font or the typography, you can also request for so we can send you, because not all the computers have these fonts in original. Other examples, this is an example of fruit, banana. And this is how some enterprise send us labels or packagings previous to be approval. They send this file. We make their revision and approval. If you go to the website spp.com, you go to the SPP system, and you can see in SPP user and cost the regulation on graphics, and you can see in the normativity the criteria for the descriptors. And if you have any doubt or any question, no? There is no doubt. Okay. Well, so we can continue with the training. Alejandra?
Sorry, because I had my microphone closed. Thank you, Angel.
Okay.
Now I'm going to change the next. The next topic is the user's contract and the SPP handbook. A second, please. Now, can you see my screen? Well, this is just a summary of these two documents, the user's contract and the small producer symbol handbook. And this is here you can see picture of the user's contract and the small producer symbol handbook. They are documents also. The user's contract is the contract that SPP certified and registered members signed. The user's contract is signed the first time an SPO or company are certified or registered. The signature of user's contract is necessary to deliver the certificate or registration by the certification entity. The contract includes declarations, clauses, and signature, date, and seal. And the SPP handbook is another document. It presents the categories of documents that make up the SPP system. Remember that yesterday we reviewed the SPP system. They are well, different tables of documents. These are the different kind of categories that we consider in the SPP system. Documents for decision making, general documents, documents on standards, documents under certification and registration, and documents on certification entities. Then these are included also in the SPP handbook. The purpose for the SPP handbook mainly are this document. It's for those interested in the SPP certification, registration, or authorization may consult the SPP handbook to become informed regarding the regulations, procedures, and guidelines that apply to each one of them. Thus, the SPP handbook may be used prior to requesting certification, registration, or authorization. Then remember, when we review the certification process, the first step is becoming informed. Then the certification entity could send this SPP handbook as an informative document, but it is a very large, or not large, but it includes all the documents in a summary, and it would be useful as informative document. Then the SPP handbook is also a contractual document, since it is an annex to the user's contract that SPOs and companies must sign when they obtain their certificate or registration for the first time. The other purpose of the SPP handbook, in order to use this handbook as a contractual document, each stakeholder should carry out the following: review the tables of documents. In each row, the name of the document appears in the first column. A description is provided in the next column, and then its applicability is indicated referring to the type of stakeholder to which the document applies in the following column. And the final column indicates whether or not the document is required knowledge. Even though a stakeholder is mentioned in the applicability column, a complete regarding of the document is required only if a yes is indicated in the required knowledge column. Then I will show you the handbook with the different tables that I mentioned before, in order you see, because for example, table of documents on standards. This show or present the different documents on standards. Remember yesterday that we reviewed the general standard and the annexes, list of specific parameters, list of optional complementary criteria, list of prohibited products, list of prices, list, well, and the specific standards for crafts, herbs. And then in this chart, this table, the next column presents the description of the document. In the third column, the applicability. It means if all of stakeholders are involved or must be interested in the document or not. The general standard, for example, the applicability is for all stakeholders. And if you ask, is required knowledge for all stakeholders? Yes, all stakeholders must know the general standard. The next one is the list of specific parameters. Applicability, all stakeholders. However, it's not required. It doesn't have a required knowledge for all stakeholders. List of optional complementary criteria is not mandatory or is not of required knowledge. A list of prices, as you see, it says yes. It means that all stakeholders must know this document. Well, then for that reason it says that it's an annex to the contract. And finally, the first time a company or an organization are certified or registered, they have to sign the user's contract. But before that, they have to know the SPP handbook, to read it, and to read the documents that are marked with yes or like yes in this column, required knowledge. This document is in the SPP digital system, the user's contract format, and the SPP handbook. In order, it is easier for certification entities to send these documents when the application or company are certified. This is the presentation about the user's contract SPP handbook. And I saw that there was a question, Angel, but I think that it is from Alfred about the previous presentation. Angel?
Yes, we can respond now or after your presentation.
Okay.
You tell me.
Well, do you have a specific question or comment about the user's contract or the SPP handbook? I think that there is no question, Angel.
There is no question.
Okay, so I'm going to respond the Alfred question. It's about the colors of the logo, and it's a part none more explain about the SPP, but it's important too, and it's important that you know what is the SPP means. Okay, so you have, Alejandra, some slide when we can see the logo.
I changed the presenter.
Okay. Well, we can use this, and the logo is a construction. The central image represents the union of the producers and consumers, and it's a duality which reflects the balance between these two sectors, the buyers and the producers, but also is represents the equality of power between women and men, and they are united by the same purpose. It's a union in favor of dignified life in community, the local economies, the health and the environment, the producers and consumers. These bars around represents a house, is the own house of the producers, and the buyers, they are in construction of this house.
Mm-hmm.
The set in union represents stability, responsibility with the land and nature, as well as with our peasants and their workers, the farmers. The colors, the green represents the life, the flora, the nature,
Okay. Yes.
trust and sustainability. The
Okay.
coffee represents the strength, confidence, solidarity, and it's a reference to the earth. And the red, it's representation or warmth, struggle, justice, and passion. That's what the symbol means.
The last word, please.
Excuse me?
The last word, the last step.
Yes, the red represent the warmth, the justice, and the passion.
Yes.
So it was important question because a lot of times we do not explain the symbolisms in the logo of SPP, and it's important to know it.
Okay.
Thank you, Alfred.
Okay.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. Then I will change again the presenter. And finally, we have another presentation that is the policies for suspension and cancellation of the certificates and registration. First of all, it is necessary to define what does regulatory framework mean. The set of procedures, regulations, policies, codes, and forms that establish the certification, registration, use, and authorization program of the small producer symbol. The Declaration of Principles and Values is another document, but it is the philosophical fundament of the regulatory framework. But the Declaration of Principles and Values is not part of this regulatory framework. In the procedures for non-compliance, we have divided in two: non-compliance with the regulatory framework and non-compliance with code of conduct and user's contract. The responsibility for the non-compliance with the regulatory framework is the certification entity, and the responsibility for non-compliance with the code of conduct and user's contract is
the cooperative
of SPP Global. SPP Global is the responsibility to conduct procedures when we find non-compliance with code of conduct and user's contract. In this table, I have summarized the action is the suspension. The cause is failure to compliance with the regulatory framework, and do not renew the certification or registration in a timely manner. The consequences are that not allowed to enter into new SPP commercial contracts with certified or registered operators. Required to comply with current SPP contracts already in force. Will remain in SPP Global's public list of the smaller producers organizations with the status of under review. The detailed status will be registered in the SPP digital system so that any SPO or company may verify the precise status, which may be the suspended status. And in the case of a small producer organization, it will maintain the status of an organization signed up with SPP Global, but not but the certification would not be updated, not be currently in effect, and the timelines for certification cycles in effect will not be interrupted. In other words, the timelines established in the most recent certificate for renewing such will remain in effect. Then the most important consequences here, I think, are that when a certification, when a small producer organization gets a suspension, they or the organization would not be allowed to enter into new SPP commercial contracts with certified or registered operators. It means with final buyers, or maybe with importers. Then you cannot celebrate new contracts, but required to comply with current SPP contracts already in force. It means that the organization should have to comply with contracts celebrated in the past, should respect these contracts. And for the lifting, a suspension will be lifted when the reasons for which this status was determined are declared to be resolved. In addition, if there are pending debts for unpaid certification, they must be paid. And finally, Failure to compliance with the regulatory framework is responsibility of the certification entity. But when an organization or company does not renew their certificate of registration in a timely manner, the responsibility is of SPP Global. In the case of cancellation, the cause is not resolving the reasons for which a small producers organization or company was suspended. It means that when a stakeholder receives a suspension, they will have to proceed to conduct the corrective action. But if they do not conduct corrective actions, they will get a cancellation. And the consequences are that not allowed to conduct new transactions in SPP conditions. It means that they would not be able to celebrate new contracts. The other is required to comply with SPP contracts. It means that they must comply contracts celebrated in the past as the same in the suspension. In the case of a small producer organization, it will maintain the status of an organization signed up with the SPP Global during the period covered by payment of the previous annual membership. It means that they are members, but to participate in the General Assembly, for example, this is the most important activity for members that are part of SPP Global. But when you lost the certification, you just have to comply with the contracts. You cannot celebrate new contracts, and your certificate of registration is not updated. This is the consequence, the most important consequences. And for the lifting, the process should be reinitiated as an application for signing up as a new member. The shortened procedure will not apply. And the SPO or company must demonstrate that it resolved the causes for which its certificate was cancelled. The minimum amount of time before applying for a new certificate is 2 years following the date of the notification of cancellation, and any debt from update fees corresponding to a previous certification must be paid. I consider the most important, or one of the most important, is the minimum amount of time before applying for a new certificate is 2 years following the date of the notification of cancellation. It means that if an organization gets a cancellation, they would not be able to correct, or yes, you would not be able to proceed, for example, with the renewal for the certificate or the renewal for the registration. You would have to wait 2 years to start again the certification process. The responsibility is from the certification entity, and in case of SPP Global, is responsible for cancelling the corresponding user's contract. When a certification entity sent the cancellation, SPP Global must cancel the user's contract. And finally, non-compliance with code of conduct and user's contract. SPP Global produce procedures for non-conformities will enter into operation in a failure to comply with the code of conduct is detected, or in the case of any non-compliance with the code, with the contract between the stakeholder and SPP Global, especially in the following cases. Use of the SPP logo in final products without having paid the corresponding user's fee to SPP Global. Use the SPP logo by an SPO or company without having a current certification or registration in effect, and use of the SPP logo on products from a small producers organization with a current certificate in effect. Well, these are the most important examples. And in this case, the responsibility is SPP Global. One of the changes recently is that currently the certification entities send the suspensions to their customers and SPO or companies. But in the future, but it means maybe at the beginning of July of this year, the SPP digital system will send the suspension to a small producer organization or to a company that have not started the process for renewal. And the SPP digital system will send remindings to request the membership's payment. The third reminding will be an alert of suspension. If there is not answered, the SPP digital system will send the suspension to the SPO or company. Then it means that in two cases, the SPP digital system will send the suspension. The first one is when a small producer organization or company have not started the process for renewal. And in the second scenario, the SPP digital system will send the suspension or cancellation if the small producer organization has not paid the SPP membership. But previously, the SPP digital system will send remindings, and the third reminding will be an alert of suspension. These are some changes, but we have not notified yet. As I told you before, we have to notify to all of the certification entities and to all of our members, organizations and company about these new regulations that will start to be applied in July. Well, that's all about the regulations, the policies for suspension and cancellation. And as you see, we have finished the agenda for the first and second day. Well, about this last topic, the suspension and cancellation, does anybody has a question or comment? Rusty, do you have a question? Yes, Rusty?
Hello.
Hello.
I'd like to ask you, This is about global topic.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. This is about the global topic is not a specific topic. Regarding the table on 4.28. Which one of these questions?
in
Mm-hmm.
where?
Table 4.2 and 8.
In the standard, the criterion.
This is about equality between men.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that I asked also.
Okay. This is about the gender equality, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We talk about fair trade. Fair trade not only talk about in the product, final product and the price, but also about the gender equality. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Can you connect it? The final to be completed by applicant and the form compliance, not accomplished. What can we make a suggestion if SPP Global perhaps in the next gender equality could be a particular question for all small producers? Can we?
Yeah. You say that if you as evaluator can make suggestions for the next evaluations?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe gender equality seminars or conducting by
Yes.
small producers.
Of course. Yes.
Okay.
And this information must be written in this column. Missing information. You could write the information that you consider is necessary to comply in a 100% this criterion, this specific criterion. Then it doesn't matter. You as evaluator can write these suggestions. As you said, maybe workshops about gender, no? And other topics about equality in men and women. Maybe there are different kind of topics for workshops. I think so. And then
one more question.
Yes, tell me.
May I?
Yes, of course.
Okay. This is about self-assessment.
Yes.
Okay. Self-assessment is should be accompanied by the evaluator or just conducted by the small producer?
Yes.
Should the evaluator accompany the small producers?
Yeah. Well, it's divided. The self-assessment is conducted by the small producer organization in this part, column L and column M. The self-assessment is completed here. And because we review an example for a small producer organization, but it is the same for a company. And the self-assessment is here, just these two columns, because they complete the form as a self-assessment for the company or for the organization. But the part to be completed by evaluator of the certification entity is not a self-assessment, is evaluation, in fact.
Yes, I mean, when the small producers conducted the self-assessment, I think there should be one of an evaluator. Why? I thought the small producer will not write the whole condition, the real condition of their organization. Perhaps that could be a subjective. because I have an experience in the when I was working with the handicraft
Yes.
producers,
Yes.
and we made some of self-assessment. We only check the better condition of us.
Mhm.
I think it's better if when self-assessment is conducted by small producers.
Well,
One of the
yes. Continue.
Okay, one of the evaluator should be there to supervise the conducting of self-assessment.
Uh,
But that's only my experience.
yes,
Perhaps.
I'm not sure if I understand very well your question or comment, but I'm going to repeat what you said to confirm, please.
Okay. Yep.
You said that in your personal opinion, the self-assessment must be conducted with at the same time or something like that with the small producer organization or the representative that complete the format, and the evaluator,
Yeah.
and the evaluator.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in your experience, in your context or in the country where you have worked, they don't, I don't know, they don't know
The real condition.
to know how to complete this form.
No, not to know how to complete this form. They only talk about their goodness.
Okay.
Okay, not telling the truth.
Okay.
They have a weakness. Only the good things.
Okay.
That I mean.
You think that, or maybe the evaluator, the document based procedure in which they send this form by email would not be very well, a guarantee, yes, a guarantee or confident.
Yes.
Because they only say the good things they do.
Yes, that I mean.
Then I think that in your case, in your context, maybe you would have to do a visit, a field evaluation.
Yeah. Yes, that I mean. Right.
Okay. Well, I think that this is a comment and an observation that it's important to consider, because in which country you are located? In what is your country?
In Indonesia.
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 Well, it is very important, your comment.
That's only track record, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Off the record. You are welcome.
Do you have another comment or question?
That's enough from me. Okay, that's enough.
Okay. And
there is a question from Alfred.
Yes, Alfred.
It's in the chat.
It was about the suspension of the SPO if they not pay earlier.
Sorry. Can you repeat the question?
It was about the suspension.
About what?
The suspension about the suspension of the SPO if they do not pay earlier.
I cannot hear you very well. Sorry, Alfred.
Then I asked if you will inform the SPO before, so that they do not get in a problem of suspension because of not being informed before.
He say if you inform before the SPO, when they going to be the certificate.
Before
before the certification,
No, the suspension.
the suspension.
Yes.
If you inform before the suspension.
Yes, of course, because we are preparing a system in which previously we notified
Yes.
twice. We remember,
Okay.
and finally the third notification would be an alert, because we will will have to say you that we are going to suspend your certificate and the reason, but we have to inform you previously, and to be sure that you know this information. Yes.
Okay. You know why I ask this?
Yes.
Because sometimes we do not have internet connection.
Okay. Well, but
then as I following this training, I traveled in Rwanda country. There is there I met a good internet.
Okay. But we are considering to send emails and also to call by phone.
Okay, there we can be together.
Because we have your telephone number, it is important that you check your data in the SPP digital system to have the more telephone numbers you can register. 1, 2, 3, yes. Our personal contact data. Please.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Alfred. I don't know if Beiji is here or not. Beiji? Or Zimmerman? But we have finished these presentations. I would like to...
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Beiji. Well, I just want to inform you that because it is important for you, Beiji. Beiji?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here. I didn't leave, so I was listening to Alfred and your answers. So, but my microphone is always was always
closed.
Closed. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I wanted that you listen the more you can, because you are an evaluator of a certification entity, Beiji. And we didn't review this document, just one part, that is the instructions for evaluators. But so I told you I am going to send you the presentations that we reviewed yesterday and today. And this document is very important for you, for evaluators, and it is important for you also, Rosti.
Yes.
You can check, well, this is the presentation, introduction, objective, scope, references. But this chapter is most important, number 5, in number 5, number 1, find the various tabs in the file entitled SCP evaluation form. Number 2, locate the various columns and sections in table entitled evaluation form. And finally, number 3, this is the most important, because we only review in the evaluation form some examples of the criteria presented in the general standard, the critical criteria, and one example of a continuous improvement criteria. But in this document, it is presented with details what does specifically an evaluatee must do in the evaluation form. Then please read it and check. For any doubt, you can ask at any moment by email, by Skype, whenever you want. Yes, then I'm going to send you this form, and please feel free to contact me when you have doubts. And well, I hope this all information is useful for you, and it's not all the information we have in the system. We have in the experience through these 7 years that the SPP certification program started. We have 7 years, and we have some experience with different organizations and different cases, and for that reason I said that whenever you have doubts or the information is not clear in the procedures, please contact us to clarify these doubts or to specify some aspects that we don't have in the documents or guidelines. I don't know if you have to say something to close the session. And another important information is that these 2 days were recorded. If you need the audios, we can send you. Then you just have to request them to me or to my colleague Angel. I don't know if they have your email, but maybe you can write in the chat, Angel.
Yes, I leave you my email.
And Skype, maybe. Because he's responsible for the social networks also.
Yes, you can contact me by the website, the Facebook, Twitter, all the communications come to me. So if you need something about a logo, graphics, or the fonts, materials, publicity, we also have the flyers and documents. So if you need anything of material, documents, or anything, you can contact me and I will send you. Okay, this is my email and my Skype.
Okay. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, in my email you have this information, but I'm going to write also in the chat. And another information is that in the agenda at the end of the second day, the second table, I had the evaluation report, the non-compliance report, and the resolution form. These are the formats that are used when you conduct a certification process, when you conduct an evaluation. Then I just have to send you these forms, but the instructions for evaluators. The evaluation form is the same that we review at this moment according the agenda at 9:25. It is written evaluation form, but it is the same. Well, then another question is that are you going to do the exam, Beji and Rosti? for evaluators?
No,
Okay.
no. Mhm.
Well, I don't know if Beiji is going to do, but you can inform me by email, Beiji. Maybe, I don't know if
Yeah, I will
you
try.
or Zimmerman
Uh-huh.
Okay.
can inform me by email later.
Okay. Okay.
Well, then thank you very much for your attention, for your patience, for your time. I hope it has been useful for you. I would like that you say a comment and say goodbye, please. Alfred,
Yes.
would you like to say something?
I'm with you. I'm glad. I'm very happy for all interventions about whatever I have studied, and I mean I'm going to do the best so that in our cooperative all of those things must be set.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Alfred. Thank you for your opinions, your participations. I think
Yes.
you do a very good work in your cooperative, in your organization. I
Yes.
desire success for you and all of the members of SOPACBI, and I am sure that you will help them to keep the SPP certification or to improve when it's necessary. Thank you very much, Alfred.
Yes. Let me inform the participants that SOPACD was certified in 2012 about fair trade.
Okay.
Then, as we have now SPP certificate, maybe we will be with this certificate until the end of the coffee trees in our country.
Again, please, the last part. Could you repeat?
Yes,
the last part?
I said that when we will not have a coffee tree in DRC, then it will not be with SPP certification.
Okay, Angel?
Yes.
Angel, I am asking to Angel, can you hear well? Could you hear well?
No,
Maybe can you
I
write?
don't understand.
Sorry, Alfred.
Yes,
Can you write?
It was an expression.
Okay.
Which says that whenever we have a coffee trees in our country, we will do the best so that the SPP standards set in our cooperative.
Okay. Yes. This is a comment. Yes? Is it? Alfred?
I don't understand. Yes, it's a comment.
Okay. But remember, Alfred? Remember that small producers organizations, it means that the small producers, the small farmers that are certified through the organization certificate are the owners of this system, of the SPP. Then you can participate in the, you must participate in the assembly, in the General Assembly. And when we make some consultations, please review the information that we send to you and share this information with all of the members,
Sorry.
all of your members.
Sorry.
Yes. Yes, could you hear me? Well, maybe we can continue. Beji?
Repeat the question, please.
Yes? Alfred? It's because sometimes I cannot hear you.
Hello?
Now I can hear you. Ooh. Hello, Alfred?
Alejandra?
Beji?
Yes.
Alejandra?
A ver.
Yeah, sorry.
Hello?
Sorry,
Hello?
I will interrupt you for just 5 seconds. I have to leave.
Yes, please.
I want just
Yes.
I want just to thank you, to thank also Alfred, and it was really very useful training. It's something really new for me. I didn't know about it before. I will sure I will need your support for the first period, and I will ask you for a lot of things.
Okay.
So,
of course.
yeah, and again, thank you for your presentation. It's really very helpful.
Thank you very much, Beji, for your participation and your interest in the SPP. Of course, you can contact us whenever you want, whenever you have a doubt, you or through Zimmerman. Yes?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Dear Alejandra.
Yes,
bye-bye.
Dear Alejandra.
Oh.
Bye-bye to everybody.
Yeah, dear Alejandra.
Bye, Beji.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Rusty.
Dear Alejandra. Dear Alejandra.
Alfred?
Before you leave.
Yes, I'm not leaving yet.
I'd like to know about the General Assembly of SPP.
Of course, yes.
Okay, the General Assembly is next 29 of June.
Yes.
And it's a system like this. Go to training. And I will send you you must to be registered.
Okay.
Okay, and I will send you the information.
Yes.
What the language you prefer?
French.
French. Okay, because we are trying to involve some translators, so we can attend people in French.
Yes.
The General Assembly is mainly in Spanish, but we have
mainly in Spanish.
Yes, but we have a simultaneous translation.
Okay.
In English and in French. So you must to be open a program like this to see the presentation, and you have to be open a second window with the audio in French. Okay.
Now about the fee, the training fees, maybe tomorrow our accountant will send you that 100.
But
excuse me?
The training free? The training fees?
Yes.
What? I don't understand the training fees. About this training course?
Yes, you said $100.
But Not just if you did not register on time,
Ah,
but it's
okay.
free.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Alfred, can you send me your email, please, so I can send you the assembly information,
Then
and you can
let me send
and
it.
the link.
Let me send it right now.
okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Rusty, can you
Yes.
say something?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for my new friends, Alfred, Zimmerman, Dizzy, and thank you also for Enkel. We have chat in the Skype, and Alejandra,
Yes.
you're a great presenter.
Thanks so much.
Yes,
Thank
this
you.
is a big honor for me, as I'm working with government. I'm a government lady actually,
Yes,
but I
Geronimo.
have some experience. Yeah, I have some experience in the first trade movement, and
Okay.
this is a big honor for me because Geronimo invited me to this training, and I thank you so much for all of
But
you, and especially for your boss,
for what?
for your boss, Geronimo.
Ah, yes. I will tell you.
Yes,
I
I
will.
do appreciate
Yes.
his effort to me, and I hope in next time I heard from Geronimo, you have small producers in Aceh next to my province. They will have an evaluator in next time.
But this is my question,
Yeah.
because Geronimo told me that you maybe will be interested in be qualified as an SPP evaluator.
Really?
Yes, and I consider that you have the knowledge, and that you have the level, the yes, the information to be a good evaluator. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yes, for that reason I asked you if you want to do the exam. But maybe we can talk by email.
Yeah.
We can say something more with Geronimo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. But
So thank you.
you maybe could consider the
Okay.
possibility,
Yes. Sure. Okay.
please, because
Okay.
we need evaluators.
Okay.
And in
Thank.
Indonesia, is we have a cooperative. Then we need an evaluator in that country.
Okay.
Okay. I hope so.
Well,
Thank you so much.
yes, you are welcome, Rusty. Very. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. See you later.
See you, Rusty.
Talk, talk
Thank
in
you.
email and Skype.
Zimmerman,
Yeah.
are you there? Zimmerman?
Alejandro,
Yes, Alfred?
can I leave you?
Sorry?
Can I leave you now?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alfred.
Thank you too. Maybe we will meet again in the General Assembly.
Yes, of course, Alfred.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Well,
Bye.
then I think that we can finish the session. Thank you to everybody and goodbye. Thank you, Angel.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ángel.
Yes.
Ángel.
¿Sí? ¿Sí?
Yes.
¿Debo detener la grabación? Cerrarlo, ¿no?
Sí, con que cierres y termines el curso ya se detiene todo.
Sí, gracias. Finalizar curso.
Alejandra,
Yes. Alfred?
maybe you will send me my certificate of participation.
Don't you have your certificate?
I have the SPP certificate, but the certificate of the
Yes,
participation.
yes, please. I will send you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Goodbye.